Good morning, sir. My name is Haginash, and my group members are Sashwinia, Jeswa Tony, and Muhammad Harish. Today, we are here to present our problem-based task 2 for web programming. Next. Okay, let's talk about the coding. As usual, we start our coding with HTML and head. So our title here is registration form. At first, we applied our CSS. So starting from body, the background color is white, the font is Arial and sans serif. Next, followed by display, align item, justify content, height and margin. So the height is 100 and our align item is in the center. Next, let's talk about the container. So our width for this is 400 px, padding is 20 px, the background color is white, border radius is 8 px, and the box shadow is 0.0.10 px. So this means the container element has a specific width, padding, background color, and the H1 element has a top margin of 0. Next. Okay, so this is the CSS for the form. We insert text align on the left and margin top with 20 px. Next, let's see the label. So the display is block, margin bottom is 10 px, font weight is bold. So the text under the label, everything will be in bold. Next is for the input text area. So the input text area will be in the box size, so we can type inside there. And then next we will see about the input type radio and checkbox. So these CSS styles ensure consistent formatting and spacing from element. These styles help in aligning and positioning the form element in a visual appealing manner. So next slide will be continued by Jeswa.
Hi sir, my name is Jeswa Tony. Today I'm going to present about the problem-based task 2. The code applies styling to the input elements with type, submit and reset. The styling includes setting a padding of 10 pixels vertically and 20 pixels horizontally, a background color of #4CAF50, a shade of grey, a text color of #FFF white, no border, a border radius of 4 pixels, rounded corners, and a cursor style of pointer. When hovering over the submit or reset buttons, the code specifies a different background color of #45A049, which is a darker shade of green, to provide a visual feedback. The CSS styles define the appearance of the submit and reset buttons in the registration form. The styling enhances the visual appeal of the buttons and makes them stand out in the form. The use of the consistent styling ensures a coherent design for the registration form. The code snippet is written in PHP and enclosed within the PHP opening and closing tags. The code checks if the form has been submitted by checking if the submit button is set in the post superglobally array. It retrieves the value entered in the student name input field and assigns it to the variable student name. If the value is not set, an empty string is assigned. The variable folder name is set to the string PBT2 or registration. The variable action is assigned the value selected in the action radio button group from the submitted form. If the selected action is create folder, it checks if the folder specified by folder name does not already exist. It creates it using the mkdir function. It then displays a success message. If the selected action is create file, it checks if student name is not empty. It then creates a file path using folder name, the lowercase version of student name, and the extension txt. If the file creation is successful using open, it writes the student name to the file using file put contents and display a success message. If student name is empty, it displays an error message. The code checks if the selected action is delete folder and perform the deletion of a folder if this condition is true. It first checks if the folder specified by folder name exists using the isDr function. If the folder exists, it further checks if the folder is empty by counting the number of files and directories inside it using glob and count. If the count is 0, it proceeds with deleting the folder using armdr and displays a success message. If the folder is not empty, it displays an error message indicating that the folder is not empty. If the folder specified by a folder name does not exist, it displays an error message indicating that the folder does not exist. The code then checks if the selected action is delete file and performs the deletion of a file if the condition is true. If student name is not empty, it's construct the file path using folder name, the lowercase version of student name, and the extension txt. It checks if the file exists using file exist, and if so, it deletes the file using unlink and displays a success message. If the file does not exist, it displays an error message. If student name is empty, it displays an error message indicating that the student name is not entered.
Very good morning, sir. I'm Shashwinia. Today I would like to present slide number 7. As you can see, this code sets up a form that will submit to the current PHP file. It includes a label and an input field for entering the student's name with the input file having the ID, student name, and the name student. It displays a paragraph, select action, and provides a set of radio buttons for selecting different action: create folder, create file, delete folder, and delete file. The code includes a submit button with the name submit and the label perform action to submit the form. It also includes a reset button to clear the form inputs. The code closes the form, ends the container, body, and HTML text, indicating the end of the code blocks. Will be the output for create file. Inside the document we have a registration. Next will be output for create folder. Inside this document we have a text document. Next will be output for delete file. The folder is empty. And lastly will be output for delete folder. You have to search and it will be deleted. Thank you.
Okay, for the next slide is the web hosting. Okay, we search for a free web hosting area and create a free account. Obtain a subdomain for your website during the sign up process. Once logged in, activate and configure PHP according to your needs, including the option to change the PHP version. Benefit from free web hosting with customizable PHP feature and a unique subdomain for your site. Alright, next one is Freezilla server connection. To create a new website, establish a secure connection by providing login credential, local, and transfer the required PHP file to your web hosting server. Access the PHP file through the host address to enable dynamic website feature. Okay, and this will be the final output for the registration form. We got the create folder, create file, the delete folder, delete file, and the two button below, and the student name with the text field. And that's all from us. Thank you.